everyone, I'm Dr. Sonali and I welcome you all to CSE Core Concepts in the series of Data Science with Python. So we have been exploring the Pandas library since our few previous videos, and in the last video we discussed about some exploratory data analysis like say, performing some aggregates and filtering out the data, grouping the data, creation of the pivot table and so on. Now in this video we are going to do further for the exploratory data analysis, majorly normalization and correlation. Now when you have data, okay, so the what is normalization? Let us first try to understand it. When you have to scale the numeric values in a specific range. Let's say for example, what happens is that whenever you will doing the machine learning algorithms, whenever you will be applying, you will realize that it is very much required that all the data is in a standard range. Let's say for example, if I am giving you some values, right? Values such as let's say 23, I am giving the age group of certain people, okay, students of the class. So somebody is 18, somebody is 22, 23, 21. So these values are in a range of, let's say, you can say 18 to 25. Okay, you are saying 18 to 25. But suddenly in this data, if some value, let us 97, 88, this type of data comes, then your output will change first of all. Understood? Because the mean will change, the median will change, the values will be changing. Now, many often it has been observed that these are some of the called as the outliers. Outliers or the exception conditions, or they are wrong data. You can say a wrong data. Now, if you have too many of these type of data, what happens is that okay, you may get some wrong results. That is there. Now, there are certain models of machine learning which are distance-based models. So, you have to find out the distance between 2 points. So, if you find out the distance between these 2 points, these 2 points, these 2 points, the difference is not much. But if you try to find out the distance between these 2 points, then it gives a different result, right? So, like KNN, SVM, if you want to get a understanding of these type of algorithms, it is there in my machine learning playlist with hands-on in RStudio, but we will be doing in Python also, right? So you can just go through this and understand the working of these algorithms, where you will realize that sometimes what happens, very large values are dominating the model. So what will happen, the model is getting trained in a specific direction, but suddenly such a value will turn the model direction, right? It will suddenly drag some feature which is different, totally different. So what we do is that we need to ensure that the numerical features are on a similar scale for optimal model performance. The scaling, see, I am not saying that this is a wrong answer, right? Sometimes what happens, we are measuring the temperature in one scale, or let's say centimeters or meters. So I am saying 1 meter, 10 meters, 5 meters, it is one scale, right? Suddenly somebody is writing 100. Now this is in terms of centimeter. Now the scale is different. So you can see the values have become different, right? Now if you are keeping the data like 1, 5, 10 and 100, the results are going to differ. So it is better that you put all these values in a standard scale, right? So this process is called as normalization. Right. So now what are the steps of normalization? First of all, we have to import the libraries at Pandas, load the data set. Now, right now we are just working on a CSV file. So maybe you have some CSV file, or you can create some data frame, apply different normalization technique, and you can visualize the results. I will show you. Very, very interesting. So let us say for example, I have already inserted some data. So you can see, say these are some scores or some values. Okay, some centimeter, meter, some values, right? So some values, now you can see what is this value. This is something like 1,80,000. Okay, 110, 18.9, 1400. You can see the difference. Somebody is computing, I am telling some people to measure the length of certain thing, right? Somebody is computing in some different unit, somebody is computing in different unit. So the range, what range will you keep here? You have to keep the range from 18 to 1,80,000. Understood? The range is very huge. So if you try to plot this in the graph, how will it look like? Okay, can you see this? It is difficult, right? Similarly, the second record is also like this. So in this, first of all, what I have done is that I have just created this. Now, if you want to see the visualization, you can also do here in this pandas library. So you can say df dot plot dot bar. Okay, so if you want to see the bar chart for this, you see only some column A. First one, the first values, these high values are belongs to column A. These values belong to columns B, C and D. So only column A is dominating in this chart. Do you realize? Right? B, C and D you can see nowhere. Yeah, you can see some glimpses of B somewhere here like red, but otherwise you cannot see them. Understood? So this is a very not unnormalized data. Not at all. This will not work, right? So if you want to visualize them properly, you have to normalize it. Now there are various ways of doing normalization. So what is the various ways of doing normalization? One method is the, you can do based on your research, based on your requirement, and just giving you some examples. Okay, nothing biased against any method. So this is a maximum absolute scaling. So this method will rescale each feature between the range of -1 and 1 by dividing all values by the maximum absolute value in that column. So if you have a column, right, column A, column B like that, so it will find out the maximum absolute value in that column, and by that it will divide all the values so that your values come in the range of -1 to 1. Okay. So the formula for doing so is that it is max scaled value. This is divided the DF value. Okay, the data value. Let's say for example, your data value is 1,80,000. So 1,80,000 is divided by the maximum absolute value of that column. Okay, so you find out the absolute value of the column, and that absolute value is maximum. So you have to divide, and the values will come in the range of -1 to 1. So now what we have done here is that this is the maximum absolute scaling method. So I just created a copy of my data frame because I don't want to do it in the original one. So I have just copied it to another data frame called max scale. So I am using a loop because I have to do it for all the values, all the columns, right? I want to do it for all the values. I want to scale them down. So I am using a for loop for column in these columns, right? For all the columns. What you are doing is maximum scale. Maximum scale means -1 to 1 range is equals to that column value divided by the absolute maximum, right? And it will give the result. This is the mathematical portion. I will just show you the implementation. So now if you plot it using a bar plot, see, not only bar, you can plot it using, there are many plots available. You can see this is visualization part. So you have area, bar H, box, density, all these are there, and this is also available in other libraries. I will teach you. So if you click on if you do it, you can see, now you can see the column value range. It is between -1 to 1. All are positive here. Now because the answer is so it is 0.51, 0.631, 0.1, 0.12. So whatever value was here, okay, so they will get normalized. We will use this when we will apply the machine learning algorithms. So now you see the graph, such a normalized graph it looks, all the columns are visible. Similarly, the second method is the min-max feature scaling. So this will rescale the feature to the range of 0 to 1. Okay, no negatives, by subtracting the minimum value of the feature and dividing by that range. So the formula says that it is same way we will do. We will create a copy here, and for all the column values, what we will do, we will subtract. I wrote, subtracting the minimum value of the feature, then dividing by the range. So you from that column is subtracting the minimum value in that column, and it is dividing the range. Range, how you find out? Max minus min. So the formula already I have mentioned over here. So scaled column is equals to scaled column minus scaled column dot min, and it is divided by dot max minus dot mean. Again, if you plot it, you can see the values are in the range of 0 to 1. And this is such a beautiful graph you can get. Okay, normalized. Third method is the Z-score method. It is often called standardization changes the values in each column so that they have a mean of 0 and standard deviation 1. Okay, so it is changing in such a way that they get a mean value of 0 and standard deviation as 1. So this technique is best when you want to have a normal distribution. If you remember in NumPy for statistics we were discussing about normal distribution. There we have discussed this mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. So the formula is here Z scaled column minus the mean value divided by the standard deviation. So the formula is given here and I have plotted the graph. You can see it is also a normalized graph, different type of a graph, right? Okay, so this is the Z score method. Now it depends on what type you require, you can do the normalization. The second part is the correlation we are going to study. So correlation means how two numeric columns are related to each other. So we have been discussing positive correlation, negative. So if you want to study about correlation, you can check out the a priori algorithm video in my machine learning series where I have discussed about correlation. So between the data there can be negative correlation, no correlation and 1. So correlation, let's say for example a shampoo and a conditioner are positively correlated to each other. A shampoo and let's say a bread is no correlation. Okay, it's not necessary that if you buy a shampoo you have to buy a bread, right? And a jam and a butter might be negatively correlated because you may buy any one of them. So if you have to have a correlation analysis, this is what you can use the function the data frame dot correlation. Okay, CORR. So correlation, let's say I have a data frame over here where I have stored the height of certain people and the weight of them. And I want to find out the correlation between them. So you can see the height and weight correlation between the values is given. So the first one 150 height and 150 centimeter height and 50 kg weight, the correlation is 1. Second one is 160 and 0.9. So that means we can say all the data values are more than 0 and nearer to 1 means they are strongly correlated to each other, height and weight. Then you can use different, this is a strong positive correlation, right? Then you can use some other methods also like negative correlation using the Kendall rank method. Those who might be studying statistics and all, they might be aware of all these methods. So let's say for example, you are writing Kendall study hours and the stress level. I am trying to figure out. So study hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours and this is the stress level parameter maybe they are computing. So they can compute it using this Kendall method where we can write down which method of correlation we want to use. Otherwise, by default, it will use the regular one. So, Kendall method. So, you can see this 2 hours and 8 hours. So, the stress increases because maybe you are studying very less. So, the more you are increasing the study hours, maybe the stress level is decreasing. So, 6 hours and 5 hours and so on. But more if you study very much, then again there is a positive correlation. Then another method is the Spearman rank method. So there are various methods, right? So statisticians can know. So marks in mathematics and sports score. How are they related? Let's see. So 95% student is scoring in mathematics, but his sports score is 60. Maybe is not able to concentrate. So you can say it is positively correlation is there. Okay, so you can see how the correlation analysis works. So this is like a matrix where it will show you the correlation between each one of them, right? So this is all about our exploratory data analysis using pandas. And more about it you can explore more. There are many types of visualization approaches you can practice using some data sets. So by now I have taught you how to download your CSV file. You can apply all these functions available in your CSV file and get a good project done. So if you like this series and these videos, if you feel it is useful for you, please do press the like button and do send me in the comment section, and please share it among those who might get benefited. Don't forget to share and subscribe to CSC Core Concepts. Thank you. Will be coming up with more such important Python libraries in my upcoming videos. Thank you.